Since the last time D&B took the stage, the music world has lost two icons, Sly Stone and Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. These two musicians got a tribute from Dave Matthews Band amongst many incredible songs and moments in a show that fans will be arguing, saying this is the best Jones Beach show in a long time. Rest in peace to Sly Stone and Brian Wilson. The D&B post-show stream starts now.
Evening. I can only hope. evening.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998. And if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Long Island, what up? Staten Island, what up? Queens, get the money, what up? Shout out to Oyster Bay. Billy Joel, get well soon. Shout out to Huntington. Westbury, what up? Port Jeff, what up? Ron Konkoma, what up? Elmont, what up? Get that construction done on the Belmont Stakes. Why did they have to skip to go to Saratoga, man? Shout out Smithtown Nissan. Shout out to the real Pope Mike Francesa. Babylon, what up? Bay Shore, what up? Watch out for them Nassau County police. Don't be driving too fast. Levittown, what up? Long Beach, what up? Shout out to that Cross Island Parkway too. Hicksville, what up? What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34, and I have had a lot of experience talking to people from Long Island for my previous job as a claims adjuster for the Northeast region, and oh boy, I have stories. I will not tell them on the air, but shout out to Long Island. You guys are interesting drivers, and I've also spent many a days at the Nassau Coliseum seeing Flyers Islanders games. So while I've never been to Jones Beach for a concert, I have been to Long Island for hockey games at very affordable prices. And, you know, there's not rocket science to what makes great D&B shows. If you play good songs in a row, and then keep playing more good songs, and then keep playing more good songs, you're going to have a great show. If you stop playing songs that to me kill momentum, that aren't that good, in my opinion, as far as show flow, this show is not, it's just coupling together the best of what's around. I know some people have wanted DMB to do 2 sets again. That's been a thing. And this was really 2 sets. You had Drunken Soldier to Crash Into Me. Jimmy Thing Every Day, Do You Remember, was a little bit of an intermission for fans who love deep cuts. And then you had Rhyme and Reason to Thank You, right? As a tribute to Sly Stone. And then you had an encore with Peace on Earth and Two Step. I am in awe. I try to have realistic expectations. I try to give my thoughts on what will make a show slightly better. But if we understand, this band has not had a 2-night stand in the United States yet. And the 2-night stand they just came off of was, in Brazil. How many years have this band had? Jones Beach has been, they've come from North or the West or just from Homedale, right? They have Homedale, Jones Beach, the same week back to back. And you're thinking, oh, yeah, they don't really have to travel that far. They're gonna knock it out the park. And they've had some good shows. They literally had to fly back from Brazil after 2 nights in Brazil. And they had arguably the best modern era, whatever you want to call modern, Buddy era, post-Roy, the best show that I can remember having post-show streams about from Jones Beach. There was no Shotgun or Kill the King. There was no Liberation. There were just good songs. And as I always say, if you play good songs, the people that would love to hear Dave play the phone book are excited. And the people that don't want to hear When the World Ends at the 2 spot for the 30th time will be extremely happy. The first 2 shows of this summer tour, as it was branded, had When the World Ends at the 2 spot. There was no When the World Ends has not been played since then. And these shows have been fun. Syracuse, was a little bit of a build up. But it's phenomenal. Right? Ben Henry says, wasn't there 2 covers listed on the song spread? So here's the thing. God Only Knows was a partial, so it doesn't count as a full cover. And so Thank You for Let Me Be Myself is the only full cover that was played. That's how the almanac kind of dials it in. Another thing here, there's no Big Whiskey. 0 Big Whiskey songs. 0. That album, the studio album, is phenomenal. From a live perspective, everyone who's been to a show from 2009 to present, or maybe I would say till 2021, has gotten so much Big Whiskey, we don't need any more flooding the streets. You can have 1 song. You could have 2 songs. Or guess what? This crazy idea I have. You don't need to play any songs from Big Whiskey. Great album. I'll listen to it at home. I love Dive In. Hey, by all means. And that's the other thing too. We're seeing this band pick the right songs, in my opinion, from the latest 3 albums. They opened this is the first time Drunken Soldier has ever opened a show. Ever. So even if you're kind of like it, the fact that you're getting something like that, the first time it's ever opened a show. And of course, it's on the beach. With a wonderful message. Don't waste time trying to be something you're not. This is just, again, there's been better shows. And I saw some of the comments on different social media. Some people, it's the best show ever. It doesn't matter if this is the best show ever. This is exactly what they've been doing since Blossom. People, if you see these sets at home, if you're listening on the couch or if you're listening on Sirius XM radio, you can't help but want to add a show, even if you have to be at the back of the lawn. You can't help but say, hey, this band is going above and beyond for us. And they're playing out stuff more than they ever have. You know, there were conversations on, and it's only a couple people, and it happened because a fiddle player came on stage last week. And then here we go. Oh, the band this, and they should have never added Buddy. And everyone can have an opinion on that. And please, if you don't want to hear this band because there's no violin, please stay home. Because I know right now, after the last 2 weeks, people are buying tickets to shows that maybe were on the fence. Please, if you don't want this band, you don't want to hear this band without a permanent violin player, please don't show up. That's your opinion. I'm not going to change it. But this band in 2016, if we go to this, just to show you how, we are so lucky, so blessed for this band. Let's go to 2016 summer tour. Because I just want to show you guys something here. To show you where this band was, because people think, oh, since Buddy came, he doesn't know all these songs and they can't play out the songbook. This is the summer tour in 2016. 89 different songs played in the entire tour. This is the final year of that violin player that was was disconnected from the band, who gave his heart to the band for many years and had carpal tunnel surgery, but was incompetent and not prepared in the summer of 2016. I talked about it yesterday. June 10th was the 9th anniversary of my Mansfield show, and it was one of the oddest show flows ever. 89 different songs played in the entire summer. Let's go to 2025 summer. We already have 76 different songs played, and the only 2-night stand has been in Brazil, and they played that 2-night stand phenomenally. The first show was more of the hits for a lot of fans that may just know those hits. The second show had some hits, and it had some stuff that expanded further. Just like you saw in the opening of this video, this band has played more spoons in the last 3 years than any 3-year stretch as far as full band. Dave and Tim played it a lot, around before These Crowded Streets came out. Right? But we are seeing more Before These Crowded Streets in 2023, 24, 25 than people saw in 1998 as far as every song getting some love. From 2022 to 2024, actually, I think it was 22 and 23. In the last, from 22, let's just say 2022 to 2024, I heard every single Before These Crowded Streets song live. Every single song from that album I heard live from 22 to 2024. It takes people years, decades to get to that point. I didn't go to 30 shows a year. You could have went in 2023, you could have went to the Gorge and then Camden, and you would have heard every song from Before These Crowded Streets. This band is playing out the catalog. Now, yes, there's going to be fans that always want more. But even on a night where, listen, I was worried. I was like, okay, they're going to probably do a tribute to the Beach Boys and they're going to do a tribute to Sly Stone. But how many covers are we going to get tonight? They did a partial of God Only Knows and they did Thank You, and that was it. And by the time they got to Thank You, you're like, listen, before that you had Rhyme and Reason, Spoon, What You Are, Tripping Billies. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy of a run. I've always said, let's get some more What You Are's at the end of sets. And we're seeing that. We've had 2 so far. And again, we're not at a 2-night stand in the United States yet. So if there was any concern, I said this temporary expectations is going to build up. Now that's how you let the beat build. But I did not expect this band to do what it does. And again, they're not going so far out of their pocket that like fans at these shows that are casual are confused. You play Drunken Soldier to open up a show. People are going to be like, oh, what is this? Then you get to Gray Street at the 2 spot versus closing out a set. They're moving songs around. Then you get the Stone, which is always welcome at any single show that I go to. And then they keep the momentum going with The Only Thing. Then you have a Fish Tender. You can't even stop and chill until Stay or Leave. And that's the tour debut. Then they have So Right, just in case you thought they were just going to, take a little of a break. Then you have a tribute to Brian Wilson and Beach Boys. Then you have Crash Into Me, which in my opinion, I actually give this band credit. In this modern era, the last 15 years, they have not like played Crash Into Me to death. I know it's been played 5 times, but they don't play it that much. They play Big Whiskey songs in the last 20, or however old Big Whiskey, what is it, 6? Since 2009, they've played some more Big Whiskey than Crash Into Me. You look at some of the song plays for Crash Into Me, and you look at some of the stuff for Big Whiskey, and it's shocking how close some of those songs are in since 2009. And again, the Jimmy thing, Every Day, Do You Remember? That's for the casual fans and the people who want some hippity, dancing and moving stuff. I don't care for Do You Remember, but I understand it's a song that's a tribute to Dave's old neighbor who passed away, or Dave's neighbor who passed away. I don't know how old, right? Jimmy thing and Every Day are songs that casual fans and that really love. And they're songs to pick people up in a time where people need hope and joy. So I'll take that. But then you go from that little 3-song bathroom break for the deep cut lovers, 25 minutes or so out of the set. And then you go right to Rhyme and Reason tour debut, Spoon tour debut, What You Are, which is Welcome Anytime. And then Tripping Billies, 7 times played. If we even go, let me just take a look and compare this, because Tripping Billies hasn't been played as much in recent history. I mean, obviously in many tours it has been played a lot. But if we even look at this, even this chart, you look at here, and Tripping Billies is starting to build its way up. It's building up momentum, and people love that song there. And obviously, it's one of those songs where you don't have a violin player. Sure, you're probably going to reduce it. They tried it in 18 and 19, and it still works. I still think it works, but obviously, people, it's a song that I'm not shocked they don't play it as much as they used to. When you look at 2015, look at all those plays there. But even so, you're getting a lot of love. And I'd rather have that than So Damn Lucky or other stuff that's been played a lot recently. To debut Stay or Leave this late in the tour, right? If we even look at this here, this is a song that we've seen a lot of plays of here and there. And so it came right in 531 last year. It debuts at 611. I feel like I always seem to catch it. And so look at 2022 with all those plays. So to have that start now, we're still looking out. We're going to keep an eye out for So Damn Lucky. I think that needs to be reduced, but we'll see. Because it was kind of built up and it's been getting a lot of plays recently, but it should kind of be reduced. And they haven't played it yet, which I think is a good thing. But this is a phenomenal set. Waiting for my guest to come on. Let me just check here. And And we have a video from Robin. But I want to get our first guest on here. All right, I'm gonna set this up here. He is muted right now, but we're gonna get him on the stream. So just give me one moment. Actually, while I'm doing that, let's play. The Gorge Crew has a better cut of this. We're gonna just play the tribute to Brian Wilson.
It feels like we're going in the wrong direction, and I don't know what your goal is, other than to be cruel, and other than to make us full of fear, other than make us stay quiet and make us lie down when we should be standing up for each other. You'll never turn out. I'll make you so about it. God, you if you should ever leave, the life will still go on. The world could say what to be, so what could we do me? God only knows what I need to. God only knows what I need. Sometimes you just wing it. Sad to see Brian go, but he gave us a whole lot of beautiful things and he rest in peace. Sorry about that.
All right, so that was a clip there from Janine Concorian. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but she's been great. She actually sent some videos into me for some multi-cams, and she's always getting those shots from the pit. For people at home that aren't on the couch tour, she gives us some awesome content, usually picked up by the Gorge Crew, but there's her IG handle, J9_Concorian, there, where I'm sure she'll have some videos up from today. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring our guest on here, and he's known online for, making the right picks on the gambling side, and this was a great show to pick to go to. We're talking to the Hammer. How you doing?
Marcus, what's up, my friend? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. So first, just tell us your initial.
All is good.
Tell us your initial reaction to this show and being there tonight.
This, I would say, all right, well, Jones Beach is about 20 minutes from my house. So every time Dave comes to Jones, I'm at the show. So this is probably I would say maybe the 20th time, 22nd time I've been to Jones. 108th time I've seen Dave overall. Opening with Drunken Soldier, I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But then he came out and the Gray Street into Stone. I was like, okay, now I'm back. And then what did we get? A Big-Eyed Fish and a Bartender. And then later in the show we got what did we get? We got rhyme and reason into a spoon into a what you are. I mean, this is probably one of the best Joan shows I've ever been to, if not one of the best Dave shows that I've been to. Overall, the vibe was awesome.
So this was the first Drunken Soldier ever to open a show. Was that something just not one of your
Yeah.
favorites, or?
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites, but I was like, oh, yes. I mean, this is a good opener. So we were just getting into our seats. So I had a little mishap with StubHub. So normally when I go to these shows, I don't get tickets until about, you know, 5 or 6 hours before the show. I normally get tickets to my shows the day of. So I got my tickets with StubHub, and the person that I got them, fell through. The seller fell through. So I was on the phone with StubHub, and then they found me a backup seller, and then those tickets fell through. So I had to get tickets through a different app, and I ended up getting them. So that was a big headache before getting into the venue. So just as I got into my seat, Drunken Soldier came on. So I was little, like all over the place, getting a drink and then sitting in my seat. So by the time I realized what was going on, Drunken Soldier had come to an end, and Dave went straight into Gray Street into the Stone. It was friggin' awesome.
Gotcha. And listen, I'll say this: if anyone's watching at home, I used to work for StubHub. They were bought by Eric Baker. He was originally part of him and his college buddy Jeff Fleur created the company. Then Eric Baker stayed in school, wasn't part of the operations. And then he kind of got upset that it was doing so well without him being there. But long story short, he bought it back. And everything that Eric Baker has done has gone to crap. So this was so everything has been sent overseas instead of getting someone on the phone like me back in the day who would get things right live and quicker. Yeah. They kind of say, hey, we'll just give you a refund or we'll give you these seats. Right. And so anyway, if anyone's watching at home, just beware of StubHub day of event for when there's not a lot of tickets. If it's a baseball game, they'll hook you up. But with day of event, StubHub can be pretty shaky. Where I would say SeatGeek and a couple other apps, Game Time, just for people at home. Just a quick side note, because what used to be again a whole department, I was part of that department. That if something messed up, we would be live there working until everything shut down. That is all now mostly automated or overseas. So anyway, sorry, I'm glad you got in. But just beware with
it was all good. Normally when I've used StubHub many times in the past. I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
Normally when I get the tickets, I get a message, I get an email. They say your tickets are going to be ready soon. It's a mobile transfer. And within 30 minutes, I get an email or a text message, and then it forwards me to Ticketmaster, and I'm able to get my tickets. So this is the first time, like I just went to Vegas. I saw Dead and Company the last show at the Sphere, the second go around, and I got my tickets through StubHub, and I got my tickets, like 2 or 3 hours before the show.
Yeah.
And they sent them right away. So this is the first time where I ever had an issue. And then when they sent me my backup tickets tonight, there was an issue in those too. So I ended up using the Game Time app to get tickets while I was waiting online, and it was pretty seamless. I was able to get in. My seats were a little bit better, pretty much the same price. So it all worked out. But I mean, the thing is with Jones, I don't know if you've ever been to Jones, but there really isn't a bad seat like in the house. Like if you're in the pit or if you're down, ground level, it's all good. But the views at Jones are just incredible. The sound is incredible. So wherever you get a seat is absolutely awesome. And like I said, it's about 20 minutes from my house. I'm right off the Parkway and right off the Robert Moses Causeway Bridge. So I'm able to get there within 20 minutes. When I get there, the parking is free. I get there like 3:30, 4 o'clock. You tailgate for 3 or 4 hours. The show starts at 7:30. I park right by the exit. I'm in and out of there so quickly. It's crazy. It's the best venue that, in terms of traveling and just overall atmosphere that, you could go to from here. So I love it. And I've seen every single time Dave comes here, I go. So.
And you're not there's actually a famous musician who saw Dave Matthews Band here in the 90s by the name of John Mayer. Living in Fairfield, Bridgeport, Connecticut area. This was what he considered his home venue. So a lot of history with this band, going back to Horde Fest In '94, they had two different sets for the 2 nights, two days of that festival. '95, they
Yeah.
came and they kept, they've been coming here for a while. And so you got the one of three Stones ever at this venue.
Yep.
What was it like to get the Stone there at the 3 spot?
The Stone was absolutely awesome. It's funny because the last show I'd seen before tonight was the show at MSG in November,
Yeah.
and he played the Stone in November. So I got back-to-back Stones in person. That was absolutely awesome. So that was incredible to see. I mean, later in the show we got Rhyme and Reason, and a lot of the people were like walking around, weren't really like into it, going to the bathroom, getting drinks and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, guys, is it Rhyme and Reason? Like, what are we doing here? You guys got to be, paying attention to what Dave's doing right now. But a lot of people were like up and walking around and not really paying much attention to it. Didn't have a lot of juice, but I absolutely loved it.
Now, did they leave during Rhyme and Reason, or were they already gone? Because I saw Jimmy
Well,
thing
they
every
weren't
day.
really like leaving. It was like the end. It was the tail end of the show. People were like, "Oh, Rhyme and Reason came on," so they were walking around, getting a drink, going to the bathroom, and they would come back. But I heard Rhyme and Reason, and my wife is not as big as a Dave fan as I am. She goes, "What song is this?" And I go, "Yeah, you don't want to leave." So, and then he followed that up with Spoon, which was incredible,
Yeah.
and then after that, the bar. So that was just a back to back to back banger, which was absolutely incredible. So I thoroughly enjoyed the show tonight. I went 2 years ago to Jones, and it was a little underwhelming. And then when it last year was absolutely awesome, and tonight blew last year's Jones show out of the water, in my opinion.
And I've heard, because there's always something Jones Beach gets, but what I've heard from people like my friend Zach, who sent some photos to me, is that there's a lot of because it's so deep into Long Island, there's a lot of casual fans that like the hits. Did it seem like maybe something like just
for sure?
Maybe that's why Rhyme and Reason perhaps didn't get the roar that if it was at SPAC or even Homedale gets that love.
Right.
So it's almost like if it was just a couple 20, 30 miles west of where you guys were tonight, somewhere Jersey, North Jersey, New York City, maybe that gets a little more love.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the crowd loved Crash Into Me, obviously, and they loved Every Day, which obviously I'm not a big fan of. But it wasn't a bad version of it. When Buddy's playing on Every Day, it's awesome. And the Crash Into Me was good. He hasn't played in a little bit, so I was welcome to hearing that. But the crowd loved those hits. I guess I never really think about it that way, in terms of the hits that Dave plays, like I said, Crash Into Me and Every Day. The crowd loves that kind of stuff. But it's the I guess the deeper cut set, that I love that he plays. And generally when he comes to Jones, he doesn't go that deep into his bag. So, generally like a Gray Street is like an encore that he'll play at Jones. And he came out with Drunken Soldier, Gray Street, Stone. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a different Dave here at Jones. So I thought it was just a fantastic show. It's the first show that I've seen Dave for this summer. I'm planning on either going to the Camden or the two shows in Jersey or the two shows in Guilford, and then I'm going to make my first trek to the Gorge this year. So this is my first Dave show this summer, and it was a blast. I had a great time.
Yeah, and the Gorge, a lot to look forward there. What would you say the biggest crowd? I know you said Every Day. What was the biggest like crowd burst out in cheering or pop that you heard?
Well, when he ended with that before the Sly cover, and then the two-step to end the overall show, a lot of people love that. I mean, to me, the biggest pop for myself, what I think was the Stone. But then when he went to Big Eyed Fish and Bartender back to back, that was great. But I think the biggest pop, Crash Into Me, was probably the biggest pop. and then Every Day after that. Buddy's version of Every Day is a little bit different than how it used to be. I don't mind it in the vibe of the show. Like where it came into the set list, it was okay. And then, like I said, Here and Crash to Me, where it came into the set list, that was all right as well. But those hits got the biggest pop. But ending with Trippin' Billies and then the two-step closer was fantastic.
Gotcha. Hey, well, thank you for coming
Yeah.
on, and we'll have to check in with you one way or another as far as your Gorge experience. You got
Absolutely.
a violin opener for, I believe that's night 1. You got the Flecktones night 2 amongst the other opener, and then you have Goose night 3. So a lot of different things people are looking forward to there.
I can't wait for some Goose. And there's a few songs that I'm chasing. 108 Dave shows, and there's still several songs that I'm chasing right now. So, I want to hear I Did It really bad.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why,
the connection broke up. I didn't hear that last part, but right. But no, I'm just kidding.
I haven't heard I Did It live since the Central Park show. And that's I base a lot of my Dave meter is based on that show at Central Park, which I went to back in 2003 for free. So, and I haven't heard I Did It since then. So I'm just, praying that one day I get to hear that. Maybe Dreams of Our Fathers. Finally, they'll play that live. That'd be fantastic. I would love to hear Kit Kat Jam live. I haven't heard that live in a long time. Raven, I haven't heard live in a long time. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm chasing. I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of it at the Gorge.
Yeah, and there's a lot of songs coming out here. We're at just over 70 songs there for this tour.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy the rest of your night, and like I said,
man.
I know the Gorge is going to be a great treat for you. Take care.
That's right. You owe me a beer too, man. How about those Johnnies?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll have to get that thing done before Rick Pitino leaves for a better job.
Yeah, well, we got 2 or 3 years left, I think. We'll see. Hey, he might take the Knicks job. You never know.
People are avoiding that Knicks job like the plague. But you never know.
My God, they're asking coaches left and right to come out and, hey, you come take the Knicks job, and they're like, nah, we're turning you down. They're interviewing absolutely everybody. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but that's a conversation for another day, my friend.
All right, take care. Bye.
Take care, brother.
All right, so we want to thank the Hammer for coming on there. And next, we're going to play a video from Robin. Let me get that set up. Just adjust this here. Okay, so I'm going to get this on my other screen. She left me a video review. All right, so we'll get this through. So this is Robin. We want to thank her for coming on by video. And this is actually, by the way, before we get this, I'm getting this set up now. If you guys send me a video review, it actually works a lot smoother because I can interview someone like the Hammer, but then get your quick takes right one after another. So if you guys have an ability, tag me, at me, message me on social media. If you came from a show, give me 3 to 5 minutes, or just give me 30 seconds to a minute of what you thought of the show, and then I can play it, because this is about hearing the reactions from people that literally were at the show. This is not for people at home to call in and say, oh, I think that you weren't there. You weren't there. So I want to know what it was like there. Let's go ahead and play this here. We're going to play Robin's review.
All right, I'm going to do my video because we're walking out of the venue. There's Armand again. So, amazing show. Never miss a Tuesday or what day is it? Wednesday? Wednesday show at Jones Beach.
Pretty solid, honestly.
Drunken Soldier opener. Love Drunken Soldier.
2 tribute songs.
2 tribute. Oh yeah, so we got God Only Knows by the Beach Boys for Brian Wilson, and we got Thank You, the normal version for Sly. We got So Right, which I was waiting for. We got What You Are, which I was waiting for.
Fish tender.
Fish Tender, yes. And what else was a highlight? What was a highlight for you, Armando?
Grace Sweeping, the second song.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Two Step. Just encored with Two Step.
That was nice.
That was a good time. We can leave out this way. So we're leaving Jones Beach right now. There's Jones Beach. There's the amphitheater. But yeah, solid 10 out of 10 show, I think. My hair is just a frizzy mess, so.
It was worth the money.
Marcus, I'm looking at you now, Marcus. Say hi to the baby. We'll see you at SPAC. Love you, Marcus.
Oh, sorry, I took my sound. Yeah, this happens. Oh, sorry guys. What was I saying? Rocky King of Music was saying that they didn't play "I Did It" at Central Park, and they did not. So I don't know the Hammer. I don't know what show you were looking at, but I don't see it here, unless maybe it was another show around there. I will say I don't. It's crazy. I mean, I don't listen through Central Park that much. Like in modern day, it's obviously I was not there. It was like a month before my 13th birthday, and I was not listening to DMB until 2005. But I don't know what it is. Like I listened to portions of this, and I've listened through the album, the record, like or live release 5 or 6 times maybe. So it's like I've heard it, but there's other shows that I probably go back to more frequently, and those are more live tracks. But I love the What You Are from there. But I don't. Yeah, fun fact, I don't listen to Central Park that much. But again, I think people who were there, it's just it's a priceless moment. It was a free show. You lined up. You were young. Oh, you guys still can't hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Because it's saying I have my mic on. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. Just someone put something in the chat that you can hear me. Yeah, I don't know. Check 1 2. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, now you can. Okay, I thought so. Yeah. The thing is, I turn my mic off, and then for you guys to hear the music, and I don't turn it back on. and I'm just talking. Okay, perfect. All right. But yeah, I don't listen to Central Park but again, it's just and honestly, there's only so many so many live tracks that I listen to over and over again. Live Tracks 3 is one of them. Listener supported is just priceless. But yeah, that's one thing I know. Again, arguably some of the best versions of songs at this Central Park show. And I think obviously the experience, people who have been to so many shows talk about the experience of that. The poster. Let's go to the poster here. Oops, that's not the right poster. That is the tour poster. All right, so this is the poster here, and this poster got a lot of love on X when I posted it. And so I wonder, I didn't ask if it sold out. Let me know, put in the comments if you were there and if you know it sold out or not. But this was by Martin Donder. He had done a previous print in Europe for the band. I believe it was Paris a couple years ago. And so this is, the thing is, I'll just say this. I mean, these posters are better when there's no methane. At the same time, with people having more and more posters, with the economy being the way it is, and you can't necessarily, maybe you're trying to cut back on costs, or people can't buy a poster. If you want to flip a poster and you get it for a couple of months, you realize, I don't really think it's going to have room to fit, or I don't want to take another poster down to put this up. It's hard to sell posters and really have that demand to get your money back or get a little more than what you paid for it. So I think it's better that I would not want a methane for this one. My personal opinion, this is a cool poster. Would I buy it at a show? Probably not, because I have a high standard for posters that I actually purchase now, because I have so many of them, and many of them are not even hung up. I still have to hang up my Alpine poster from night one of last. I have posters from 4, 5, 6 years ago I haven't hung up yet, from multiple bands. So the posters are better without methane having so many posters. Jones Beach has been able to avoid methane for the most part in the last couple of, post-pandemic, from what I can remember. But this poster is better than the methane. It's a fresher idea. I do think, though, with something like Jones Beach, you've had a lot of ocean and sea ideas already. But this this whole thing of like a submersible finding the fire dancer statue in the ruins is pretty cool. I just think I would not buy this, because there hasn't been like that poster where everyone's like willing to trade another like popular poster for it. And we haven't even had a 2-night stand. We have not had Deer Creek. A lot of the best posters come later in the year. And the reality is, we have so many posters now for DMB that some of these ideas are going to be recycled, even if it's a different artist. So I think we've gone over everything that's really important. It's just these shows are incredible, and it's just know when the world ends. There's no Funny the Way It Is. There's not that I never want to hear that song again. I just don't need to hear it again. No Funny the Way It Is. No When the World Ends. No, even, and this may be controversial, One Sweet World without the instrumental intro does nothing for me. You throw in that instrumental intro and then you pop in. So that's the thing, is like, they've done a great job with these openers. You have Drunken Soldier come in, and they've been pounding through after the opener, right? If we go back to Brazil, we have a warehouse into Nancy's instead of Nancy's warehouse. And then you have Boa. So you have a 1-2-3 punch for that show for night 2 of Brazil. Before that, we have now this one is just, this was just a standard, like this was more like a festival. So you open with Don't Drink, So Much Bridge, Too Much, after having So Much Bridge, Word Up, and no Word Up tonight. So that's good. That song can take a break. And then you open with What You Are in Homedale. Now Cornbread after that is but the crowds love that. I will say that the crowds love Cornbread. I don't. But opening up with What You Are is phenomenal. So Right opens up a show here for Columbia, Maryland. Song That Jane Likes opens up Cuyahoga Falls. Warehouse opens up in Syracuse, Lakeview. Tripping Billy's opened up Boston Calling. And Dancing Nancy's opened up Bethel to start off. And so there, your only repeat opener is Warehouse, right? That's it. Because if we look at the top openers right here, boom, Warehouse is 2. Everything else is 1. That's awesome. That's a great thing to see, that we have Jane, we have Billy's, we have Nancy's, we have, no, obviously Don't Drink is, you know how, but like still, that's a fan favorite, despite me not being a fan of it. And What You Are, like opening a show, that's crazy. For the first time, I believe, since 2013. So Right. And then Drunken Soldier, first time ever. This is a great arsenal of openers. And I think, to me, I value more of you going on an opening run and you ending out the main set with the bang. If the middle of it is a little bit of a slower pace, or it has more of the fan favorites, that's fine. And that's what we had tonight with Crashing to Me, Jimmy Thing, Every Day. And then Do You Remember, just a fun song to get time. I believe that this band does need breaks. Obviously, some of the best shows ever, you just, like, the lowest points are higher. But, like, I'm fine with the band playing something like Every Day in the middle of a show if you have all these bangers. And again, many people who watch this stream, you love deep cuts. But many people at these shows, especially Jones Beats, they love Crashing to Me, they love Jimmy Thing, they love Every Day. You put that in the middle of a set, the hardcore fans can go get a drink, can go to the bathroom, grab some extra snacks, you know, check in with the wifey or the husband, is, yeah, I'm still at the show, not cheating on you, right? You know, I'm good. You got my location. So you can do all that if you're a deep cut lover. But the fans who want the hits, which is the majority of the crowd, they get those hits in the middle. And as I've been saying for some of these shows, there are certain songs, like I Believe Pig is in a song like that. Tripping Billy's is a song like this. Gray Street, kind of. But these are songs that a Bartender, right? Even more than Big Eye Fish, Bartender. These are songs that people who love Dave reading the phone book or love the hits will enjoy. And these are people who want these deep cuts, as far as the frequency of these songs played is not that high. And deep cuts can mean different things in different eras. Rhyme and Reason early on in this band's career is different than what it is now. Same with Crash Into Me. Crash Into Me is still a hit, but it hasn't been played in every region of the country as frequently as it was when 96, 97, 98, etc. So that is it. But I'm just so happy. I'm so happy for people there. Robin, the Hammer, Zach S. Shout out to him. He was sending us photos. Sending me photos to post here for everyone to see. And we have some of them here. So this was Spoon. And this was Rhyme and Reason. Look at Dave. Look at Tim with the Fender SG right there. This one was funny. Okay, y'all got about a 25-minute bathroom break. That was after crashing to me. I like Crashing to Me. I don't mind it because it hasn't been overplayed. And I think it's a beautiful look. Like Dave's acoustic guitar work, that's a big determining factor for me sometimes too. I just love how Dave created those parts on acoustic guitar as an acoustic guitar player. But that was really the intermission. Like I said, that was just something I put up there. I'm glad Gorge Crew got a better cut of this. I just wanted to put it up because people who weren't on the couch tour were like, hey, I want to see it. And it was a special moment. There is, this was another one here. Y'all thought it was going to be a bathroom break song early on. Stop. You could argue Stay or Leave, but I still like that song. And I think it's a couple steps above a so-so set killer. Because it is a beautiful song. I think the more you hear Stay or Leave, it may wear off the power of it, but I think it's still a good song. So that's with the Barry. And then this is Bartender Dave yelling. Dave doing What You Are, Bartender in the same set, having that yelling. Doing the Stone, the technical work of the Stone. I will tell you this, this is my left hand, right? This hand playing the Stone will get tired. Same thing with Satellite. It just is taxing on your hands. I know Dave has techniques and things. He's strong and his calluses, all that stuff. But like even now, I started playing guitar in 2008. Even now, trying to play through the Stone with the CD, not the live version, just the CD, the studio version can be very taxing on this hand. I literally will have to take a break. Even though I know the parts, I have to take a break. And even over the last, I would say 3 or 4 years, my hands can't move as quick as they used to, it seems sometimes. And it's even harder than it was when I first started learning how to play the Stone. And let alone trying to sing and play it. So this set had a lot of like high demands from Dave to sing some of these songs, to play off the cuff. We just found out in probably the middle of the day, lunchtime on the East Coast, we just found out about Brian Wilson from his essentially his family had access to his account and posted from his account that he had passed. So to have to kind of come up with that today is interesting. And this should be no shock to anyone. The other thing I'm just shocked by with the one night stands from this band being so good so far is it's a whole different thing for this band to, even if they're popping in on the PJ or quick flight, direct flight, it's a lot to fly and be one place, one at night, you're leaving after the show, you fly out, you go to another show. It's a lot to do that versus having 2 nights in there, right? And kind of knowing some of the stuff behind the scenes and talking to people that deal with this or are part of this tour. It's a lot. Like even just the idea of Hartford Mansfield since Mansfield since 2014, it's been one night. In Hartford since 2015, it's been one night. Like the fact that they just kind of hop into they hop in and then they have to like go to the next stop. They're not taking 2 nights. It's a totally different thing to play some of these shows in the one night stands, even if it is Homedale, Jones Beach, which they usually do. This year, Brazil gave them a little more time. That may have been a thing. They got more time between Brazil and Jones Beach, and maybe they were just rested up or ready to go. But these shows have been great. You can always argue another show is better, but I care less about comparing which show is better, this show this year versus a previous show. My biggest thing is when I look at some of the low points of a tour or the low points of a year or a festival set, is there progress in these show flows? And my answer is yes. I look at, hey, when the Worldins hit the 2 spot, the first 2 tour stops, as the band was building up their calluses and building up their stamina. And since then, they haven't played it, and they have done a wonderful job. Most shows, there's been, again, you get a cornbread or you get some other thing at the 3 spot, and you're like, ah. But like, they've really, especially tonight, come out the gate hot. And even if there's one song that's kind of like, that you're kind of like meh in the first 5, the other songs around it are surrounding a meh song with some really, really solid things. So that's great. Always a great thing. All right. That's it. It's funny. I'm off from work. I say I'm ending the show. I talk about this. I'm off from work. I'm on my final 2 weeks of parental leave. I kind of hodgepodged it. It's like I'm hanging out with my son every day, and it's just a blessing. I love spending these. Let's not forget these early days. It's been a blessing hanging with him, and I'm still kind of scrambling to get stuff together for this show, the graphics and the post-show stream intros and getting everything up. But thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for the guests. If you are going to Riverbend, if you're going to St. Louis and you want to be on the post-show stream, please message me, especially St. Louis. I would love to hear from as many fans as possible, especially the local fans. You guys have been overlooked by DMB, or just, I wouldn't say overlooked. The touring logistics have not been in the favor of St. Louis. Since really 2016, they really haven't had a lot of shows in St. Louis. And so it's nice to see that those fans have a hometown show where maybe they only have to drive 30, 45 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes for some of you guys. It's great to see that St. Louis is back. And the tour, Riverbend obviously is one that's been more frequent, but sometimes, there's always a question, hey, are they going to keep coming back to Riverbend? And they have. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Friday night concert series is for Friday's show at Riverbend. And then Saturday, no official audio stream or video stream, but D&B Couch Tour. Check it out on Facebook. Again, be respectful. I would not comment about anything controversial, even song takes, because again, they don't want these skirmishes and nasty back and forth. Be kind or just zip it. Talk with your friends if you want to have some banter. All right, finally, I'm going to end the show. Finally, it's your boy ConstantViz34, and we'll close out with Spoon. This was originally, I think, a Facebook promo that I put out for one of the MSG shows, so you'll see that at the beginning, but enjoy.
I walk, there's voices behind me sing, sinner, sin, come out and play.
Jeff Coffin with that soprano sax. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Have a good night, guys. But Jeff Coffin on that soprano. How you doing?